Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Fairune. It did come out yesterday, at least when I planned to upload this video it did come out yesterday, so we'll come and have a look at it. There's not that much to see. The only options that you get are a larger scale for the graphics and some sound options. And the only other thing you get is this collection area, which appears to show pretty much all the items because I am apparently halfway through the game at this point. I've killed around half the monsters and I've got around half the items in about an hour, which is a little bit depressing. I'm hoping this game's going to be about $5 or less because it's going to be a little bit weird if it isn't. But anyway, here we are. This is Fairune. It reminds me a lot of an old game that the Angry Video Game Nerd did a video on way back when called Hide-Lied, if anyone actually remembers that game. And I'm pretty sure this game pretty much is Hide-Lied, just because of the way it's been put together. So, the basic idea is that you are a quester across this land. There are 3 fairies that you need to rescue and return to the main platform in the center of the world. This means beating the shit out of monsters, collecting items, using those items to solve puzzles, and doing all that usual stuff. So, the game itself is actually extremely simple. There's not much in the way of combat whatsoever. The idea with the combat is that if you are at a high enough level to take on something, running into it will defeat it, but you'll lose some life. You'll also gain some experience in the process. Level up, and the weaker enemies will start to not give you any experience points, but you'll be able to run over them without taking any damage, which is nice for when you're actually trying to get across the world. There are, of course, stronger enemies, and I believe that's something over there that I need to go collect, so I'm going to have to try and find my way over there. There are enemies that are so strong that you can't do damage to them just by walking into them. They will, in fact, just knock you back. But that's not what we're here looking for right now. There are also items you can find in the world. You can see I found a fair few down the bottom there, and what we're looking for right now is a tree to use the pickaxe that I just got on. I know there's a third one around here somewhere, but I'll be damned if I can remember where it is, because it's one of these sorts of games. It's a lot like Adventures of Mana, only a little bit more obscure about it. The general idea is that you need to remember where stuff is on the map, and, well, I don't have a very good memory, let's just say that, so I'm gonna have to just wander around until I find the bloody things I'm looking for, but honestly, this isn't too bad of a demonstration of the gameplay to begin with, just because it's so similar. Like, it is such a similar style of gameplay even in the later levels. Like, I had to go down to what basically felt like hell for a bunch of puzzles, and it didn't really change anything about the gameplay. The main thing that you really want to be keeping an eye open for in this game is obvious secrets that aren't too obvious until you actually get a really good look at them, because there are things like trees that you can walk through and just stuff like that that you need to deal with. The question is, where the bloody hell do I go to find this damn tree? I have a pickaxe, and you're meant to use it to, not a pickaxe, an axe, a hatchet. You're meant to use it to break down trees, but I don't remember where the bloody hell the thing is. That gravestone is where you respawn, that shiny bush is where you get your health back. I don't remember where the bloody hell it is. Unfortunately, the little grimoire there doesn't really tell you where you need to go, which kind of sucks, because you need to remember where you want to go. I think I might have to, oh, wait, I remember. Right, if I cross through here, I can just barely see it. See where I need to go, blown all the way up on the screen here, but on the Vita screen, this map in the top right here is pretty much useless. I mean, it'll tell you where it tells you where you are and gives you your map, but it's not going to help you out with much of anything, really. So if I head over here, yep, I can cross this bridge that I made earlier, and if I can go over here now to find the tree that I need to chop down. It's a big open world. There's a bunch of stuff to find in it, obviously. There it is. That's what I've been looking for. Probably should have came and found it before I started on the video, but there you go. So I'll take this item and use it here. Most of the items go in relatively smart places. And are used by... oh dear. Oh god, are you kidding? Oh man, that's a pain in the ass. Alright, now, When you die, when you run out of all your life, you have to do the long walk back. So we're going to have to go right back there. And it's going to suck. Yep, we respawned here, because of course we did. Oh wait, is this one of the things I have to put down here? Nope. What about this one? Yep, this is where it goes. So, yep, this is part of the quest. Right, so I have a new place to go, along with chopping down that tree and finding out what's on the other side. So, where was that? I did see that set of graves earlier, didn't I? I'm not going to remember where the fuck it is, but I know I saw it earlier. So yeah, the game is mainly just puzzle solving and grinding the combat until you can actually defeat enemies. Because as you saw, I got trapped in that place by those goddamn enemies. There we go. Alright, let's drop down in here and we get to go into the underground part of the game, which has its own map and stuff. As you can see, this is where the enemies I need to fight are. I get a little bit of experience. Now, I think if I kill everything here, it'll give me what I need to move on. Oh, I also get this, which is the Sage's Tablet. Nope, looks like I don't get to kill him. But there's a hidden room here. Can I use the pickaxe on this one? No, I can't. But apparently I do get a credit card. An ID card. Never mind. I don't know if this is part of a puzzle or not, but... So let me explain how combat grinding works in this game. It's not particularly great. So the way it works is that you basically just have to wander in and out of rooms to get the enemies to respawn so that you can run in and kill them. And when you're about to run out of health, you basically just bum rush back to the nearest health point and get your HP back that way. It's kind of frustrating, actually, just because you have to do it so many times because your health bar won't last a full grinding session. So you have to keep pulling back to where the heal bush is. And the nearest heal bush, I think, is down here. So I have to come all the way back here. And you have to do this, by the way. There are points in the game where you can't progress if you're not strong enough. Which is, it just takes longer, is what it does. I mean, it takes me a little bit of a while to figure out most of the puzzles in this game, purely because of... Well, not purely because of, things like trees, for example. Like, you saw in that screen before I went underground, or you might have seen it, but you saw there that there was a tree that had no tree trunk. Very hard for me to see. I'm not very good at seeing that sort of thing, and people who've watched videos on games like this before that I've done can attest to that. There's a bunch of stuff like that in this game, and it's kind of annoying because it takes me a while just to see that. I actually had to look one of those goddamn trees up through a guide. And it's sort of secrets like that that keep you from progressing, really. And you also have to know where all the items go and stuff like that, which is also quite frustrating, but not as completely retarded. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is, but, it's not exactly Giant Medusa. I haven't even seen that yet. I got no idea where that's supposed to go. Let's see if there's actually a puzzle here to be solved. Probably isn't. It's probably in the other room. Wait, can I hurt this? Can I hurt this yet? No, I can't. Means I probably have to come back later. Will the ID card work here? Will it work here? Will it work here? Using the 3. Using the 3, okay. Apparently that's part of the puzzle. I believe this harkens back a little bit more to, well, I mean, it does remind me somewhat of Zelda, but the puzzles aren't anywhere near as obtuse as, like, blowing away random bushes or something like that to find the next dungeon, but at the same time, it does kind of remind me of puzzles like that, and considering that the combat is basically nothing, its worth is built mainly on its puzzles, and I mean, once you figured the game out, it would basically just turn into a... It would just be a repeat of all the puzzles you did before, wouldn't it? Like, that's pretty much all that would happen. You'd just be replaying the same puzzles over and over again, wouldn't you? So yeah, that's just gotten me a shortcut. So I can go back to where I was. Can't hurt that thing yet, unfortunately. Apparently I got a seedling now. What am I supposed to do with the seedling? I'm not entirely sure, actually. That's an interesting question. Can I do anything with the logs? I cannot. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing now. That's the thing. Once you figured out all the puzzles, you could probably just breeze through this. Most of the time you'll be spending just looking for the solutions to the puzzles. Oh, right. Better put that back down. Right, so what am I supposed to do with the seedling? I'm not entirely sure. So basically, I'm just left wandering around until I can figure out what I'm supposed to do with this, which is a fantastic thing. The graphics and music aren't terrible, but I find the music to get really repetitive and annoying after a while, especially if you're spending a lot of time wandering around on the overworld trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. That can be frustrating. What I'm looking for is probably not here. And the graphics aren't anything special. They're obviously meant to be a throwback to the retro days, but everybody does a throwback to the retro days these days, and not many people seem to put that much effort into it, and this doesn't feel like it's had that much effort put into it. I mean, compare this to Shovel Knight, and it's basically no contest. So it really is just this, like, get your items, wander around on the overworld, and figure out what the bloody hell you're supposed to do with all of them. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with all of them, so this makes things interesting. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go look it up, because I have the feeling I'm not going to be able to figure this out without looking it up, so I will return shortly. Okay, I'm an idiot. I figured it out. So, as it turns out, this area I wasn't able to get into before, but since I have the lamp, I was able to light it up. I didn't think that was something that I had to do, so let's just continue on, shall we? It would have been nice to know that area, like, that area was weird because it was dark, but you couldn't move through the darkness. Like, you couldn't get lost in it or damaged in it or anything like that. If I had an idea that it was dark, I might have had a better time figuring that one out, but I guess not. So, let's just continue on. So yeah, this is a new area of the map. And it looks like we've already used the 3 logs that I've collected earlier, so I get to move to this next part of the map. Nice and easily. Oh, no, that's how you use that, but if I put down my 3 logs, this will carry me across again. Now, that was a puzzle hint that I could understand. Because I'm a retard, and that's what I need to understand things. So, we head on in here. Oh dear. Looks like I'm not going to be able to beat that without going back and healing up. And leveling up a bit, which I already had to do. And I already somewhat did. Great. Wonderful. This is pretty much Faerûn in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Great, now I have to wait for them to move away so I can get back to the staircase. Never mind. I just walked right into it. It's not like I had much better to do. There is no penalty for dying except this backtracking, but I believe there are trophies for completing this game really quickly. I haven't actually checked the trophy list, but I do remember seeing that a few months ago, so... hopefully I'm remembering that right. It's a neat experiment, but with some of the puzzles being obtuse and the combat being basically nothing, it's just... it's not the most entertaining thing in the world, I gotta say. It's very easy to get bored, and some of these puzzle explanations make absolutely no sense to me. Although you did just get a hint for a couple of them, so you're welcome. Well, we're level 14, so let's see if we can go and beat these guys in this building now. I imagine that we still can't, but it's worth a try anyway. Will give us a nice amount of experience too. Save us a bit of trouble. Oh no, we can beat him. Oh, this is just a healing grass. Oh great, I could have come all the way back here and just healed up nice and easily from that. Why didn't I do that before? God only knows. I don't really know where I'm even going at this point. Like, my way forth is not particularly clear. Didn't even realize that was just a room for that to be a thing on. There might be a path around, but I'll be damned if I can see it. Well, I've been at this for about, oh well, almost 20 minutes. I realise that I've had to cut this a little bit, but that is pretty much a look at Faerûn. It's just wandering around this overworld and trying to solve puzzles. That's pretty much all it is. Since the combat is basically nothing. It's kind of a neat concept, and it would work if the puzzles weren't so obtuse sometimes, and it didn't have an annoying over-reliance on making it so that the stuff you had to spot was barely visible. Like, I hate when puzzle games do that. It just feels like you're keeping me from the information I need to solve the puzzle just because you feel like it. That's what it feels like to me. It's just kind of frustrating when games do that. There's not that much else to see. Like, if you hit start out here, it's got a manual save menu, but you also save when you die. This is what large looks like. You can turn off your time counter on the right as well as the music and the sound effects. It's just not particularly noteworthy in any way, shape, or form, honestly. I find it hard to recommend. Maybe if you're looking for something ridiculously old school and you have a computer so weak you can't run old school emulation to get like Apple II stuff or stuff like that running. Even the original Highlight, which would be an absolute pain in the ass to play today, but to be fair, it was pretty much a pain in the ass to play back when it first came out as well. So, yeah, that was just a quick look at it. Hopefully you figured out what you need to know about it from here. So, this has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.